Luxury business card, let's go. When it comes to luxury branding, design is everything, but it's also really easy to mess up. I'll show you how to create a simple, beautiful business card for your luxury brand in less than 10 minutes. Let's go. What up, y'all? I'm Liz Marie, brand strategist, designer, creative director for women and BIPOC owned brands. I help you overcome chaos, get clear on your brand, level up, shatter glass ceilings, and build generational wealth. That is what we're all about. Now, if you've seen my video on luxury branding, you know that luxury brands are all about sophistication, elegance, and minimalism. And since I created that video, I've had so many people reach out to me asking me to take a look at their logos, take a look at their business cards. And I love when you do that, so please do not stop. But what I have seen is that most of you are overthinking it. And in fact, over-designing and doing a little bit too much. So I decided to put together this video to help you get a sense of how simple it can be and that less really is more when it comes to luxury branding. So I'm gonna walk you through a quick tutorial on creating a luxury brand business card. I'm going to be using Canva. If you don't already have an account, you can create one for free. It is not the design tool that I use to create business cards, but it is great for non-designers or really for everybody who doesn't have a ton of experience in design or doesn't want to pay for higher end or more sophisticated design programs to be able to create stuff that's good enough or enough to be dangerous, as I like to say. So we're gonna use Canva. If you already have a logo, fantastic, we'll drop it in. If you don't, I'll show you how to create a simple one with typography right there in the business card. So let's get to it. All right, y'all, so you're gonna log into your Canva account and go up here to create design and search for business card. We're gonna do a standard 3.5 by 2 inch size. You can do other shapes like a square or a round, but this is the standard format. Let's just name this luxury business card. And we wanna go to file and make sure that our margins are turned on. You may want to add guides and rulers. This just helps you make sure everything is really nicely lined up. So to start, we're going to start with the back of the card, which is often really, really simple. This is usually where you have your logo, unless you're doing something really unique. And because luxury brands often have a very minimal color palette, we are just going to work with black and white. If you have other colors in your palette, that's fine. But I just want to show you as simple as possible to look really elegant. We're just going to do default black. You come in here and change your background color to black. And next we're going to add our typeface or our word mark for our logo. If you already have a logo, you would go to uploads and upload your logo here, but we're just gonna typeset some text. And this is already set up with my current branding, so we'll just add this here. And we're gonna pretend we're working on a luxury hotel called the Huntley. And I went in already and decided which font I want to use. But if you select this, there are so many fonts already accessible within Canva. You can also upload your own. As I mentioned in my first video, most often you're gonna wanna go with like a really sleek serif font that is high contrast or a very geometric sans serif font. We're gonna go with this one called Versailles. Now, I'm not saying that all of you should use this, but it's a nice, elegant, high-end look. And this is too big. So another element of high-end luxury design is you want to have a lot of space. You want to use space really to create this airy, open feel that just looks higher end and higher quality. So right now this is 31.5. We're going to drop it down to 24. We're just going to make sure that it's centered nicely within our little artboard here. Now again, you can put your logo here. You can play with the size. But you really want it to feel light and airy. And if you wanted to see without the margins, you would see like this looks really clean and simple already. Another thing you might want to include on the back of your card is either your web address or Instagram handle or something like that. You don't have to, but this is a good place for it. So we're gonna go ahead and add some text here. We're gonna say at the Huntley. Again, this is totally made up. And I'm gonna complement this with another font that I like called AP. You say that, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do this like angle type of layout. So we're gonna have something in this corner and you're just gonna align it with those margins, and we're gonna put the website in this other corner. But I really want the focus to be on the logo or the name. So I'm gonna make this even smaller. We're gonna do an 8. And let's left align it just so that it's easier. Go ahead and drag this so it's right in that corner. And then you're going to copy this. I use Alt click. You can also just copy and paste. And we're gonna make a copy and move it in the opposite corner. So what we're doing here is we have a lot of open space. The focal point is right here in the center, but we also create this diagonal line that draws your eye across the card and creates a lot of rhythm. And here we're gonna put the huntbee.com. So this is where you might put your website. And again, you don't have to follow this exact layout, although feel free if this works for you. But the point of this is really to show you how simple, how minimal this can be, because a lot of you that I've seen are over designing. And so there you have it. In just a couple of minutes, we have the back of our business card done. You don't need to touch it. You don't need to add anything, no graphics, no photos, no little fancy stuff. The back is done. Now we're gonna do the front, which is where you have all of the important information about whoever's business card it is. And so we want this to be really legible. So we're gonna go and change back to a white background here and then start to add the text. And depending on how much contact information you have, like if you have multiple phone numbers or a fax, I don't know if anyone has faxes anymore. If you need a physical address, like if you have a store, this can get more complicated. But a lot of you will just have a very simple amount. So like I just have my email address and my phone number. And so we're gonna use that example of just an email address and a phone number and keep it really, really simple. So I'm actually gonna take this same font here, this Versailles font, and I'm going to use it again on the back. So I'm going to copy paste this. I'm going to put it right here in the center, and I'm going to change it to black. And I'm doing this because I want the name of the person that we're contacting to be really prominent. That's the most important part. That's what you want to stand out. So I made up this person, Samantha Maddox. It sounds like a fancy rich person name. Obviously this is way too big. If I'm designing a brand guideline, I have a rhyme and a reason to what font sizes I use. For this purpose, we're kind of gonna eyeball it. You just wanna be consistent and not use too many. So in this case, we're gonna use 18. And for now, I'm gonna keep it right here. We may move that up or down. So that's our person. They're also gonna need a title. That's another important part of this. So again, I'm gonna Alt or Option click, depending on if you have a PC or Mac, just drag. Or you can go back here and add a new text box. And I'm gonna select this and I'm gonna put founder. And you don't have to do this all in caps or add these little dashes. This is just something that I like to do. I think it makes it look nice. And I'm gonna change the font. So I only want the special, big fancy font. I only want to use that for the most important thing on the card. That's where you want your eye to go. So everything else, I'm going to use this secondary font. And this again is way too big. So I'm going to make it a 10. I don't want it to be as small as the other information because it's still kind of a header. And I love to take a font like this and add what is called tracking, or it's space or letter spacing between the letters. So we're going to go ahead and make this like nice and wide. We're gonna do 200. You'll see me doing this all the time in like every brand. Probably I have like all caps with, tracked out or wide set letters. I just think it looks really clean. And again, space looks like luxury. So we have the name, we have the title. Now let's add a phone number. So I'm actually gonna go here and take this exact little set of text that we used before and paste it on this side, but just change the font to black and make sure it's right aligned. And we're gonna add a fake phone number. I'm not gonna give you my real phone number. I don't like when people call me. They're really clean and simple. And then we're gonna do the same thing over here. Let's make another copy. Again, you can just copy paste if that's easier. We're gonna right align this so that the text, when we change the text, goes out in the right direction. And then we're gonna change this and put the email address. All right, the last thing we want to do is just fine tune the spacing. So this is really it. It's very, very simple, very clean, very minimal, and looks very high end. So if we look at it without our margins, you can see this is clean, but the spacing isn't quite perfect. And this is one of the hardest things to get right when you're doing this high end design, is get the spacing perfect. So what we want, just like a little bit more space between these two items. And we want this a little bit higher. Yeah, something like that. You don't want it perfectly centered because there's these things in the bottom. So you just want it like a little bit, maybe a little bit more, a little bit above center.
In fact, I'm gonna put the bottom of this at the center line and then just have that a little bit below. Again, normally when I'm doing this in Adobe Illustrator or a different design program, I have a very specific grid and I'm very precise, but you don't need to get that crazy if you're just kind of eyeballing this for yourself, but you do really want to be mindful of spacing, and sometimes just the intuition is what works best. That's honestly it. If you have more information that you need to add, additional contact information, phone numbers, address, etc., you can go ahead and add them and rearrange as you need to. But for a very, very simple business card, that's it. And it looks really clean. It looks high end because you're using nice fonts and simple color palette, and you have a lot of white space. Remember, minimal is better. And so when in doubt, when it comes to luxury, keep it really simple. The most common mistakes I see people making are adding too many elements, filling too much of the space so there's not enough white space to let the design breathe, and just kind of overthinking it. And really, we did this in just a few minutes, and it can just be that simple. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was helpful. And let me know in the comments or send me your business cards, and I'd be happy to take a look and let you know what I think.
Remember, when in doubt, take it out. Less is more. Drop a comment and let me know if this tutorial was helpful or if you'd like to see more design tutorials from me. And if you want, you can access the design template for these business cards in the link below. Until next time, stay badass. All right, y'all, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down there. And check me out at LizMarieStrategy or LizMarieStrategy.com.